what's up guys? We're group number 5. Today we're going to be talking about Black Rocks Brewery. I'm Sterling.
I'm Phoebe.
I'm Brady. I'm Wilson.
Yeah, let's just get right into it. Just an overview of what we'll be discussing. First I'll give you guys a little introduction about us, who Black Rocks is. We'll talk about the situation analysis, our market presence based on internal and external factors. The SWOT analysis, which is Black Rock's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our digital marketing overview, as well as ideas on what we think could work specifically for Black Rock's digital marketing. Our target audience, what they look like, who they are, that kind of stuff. And lastly, we'll take questions as well at the end. Okay, so just a little bit about the company. Most of you guys know and are familiar with Black Rocks. But for those who don't know, it's just a very chill, mellow, family-friendly brewery here in Marquette. It's located on 3rd Street, which is literally a 5-minute drive that way. It contains a friendly tap room offering craft beers and other special events such as Trivia Night, Oktoberfest, hosting sponsorships, rallies, and more. And overall, I think it's a great bar to go to and relax with friends, family, whoever it may be. I'm from here originally, and I'm always trying to get my friends to go. I always have a good time, and I've yet to have a bad experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, so let's go over the company overview a little bit. So Black Rocks was founded in 2010 by David and Andy. They had a home brewing just hobby basically, and they wanted to turn it into a commercial actual brewery, and that's exactly what they did. So they created a nano brewery, which is just a brewery that produces under 15,000 barrels of beer a year, and they really pride themselves on that homey environment. You know, you walk right in and it's got an all wooden interior, and it's got a back patio full of people drinking their beers, and they also have live music out in the back, and they also have a little live music stage on the inside as well. And they also have food trucks in that back patio as well. Some of the food trucks would be like Smelted and Burger Bus. They just come out and park in the back, and people can just walk right up to there and get their food and sit back down on the patio and whatnot. And basically their iconic beers is what everybody keeps coming back for, the customers. And their iconic beers, they have like year-round selections such as their 51K and the Grand Rapids. And they also have seasonal beers such as their Honey Lab, or hoppy seasonals such as their Pressed Ale, or their lager series, which would be beers like their Oktoberfest and whatnot. And like I said, they have live music and performers out there. When we went there for the visit, they had one performer out in the back, I think it was 2 performers out in the back, just playing guitars and singing music and stuff like that. So yeah, let's move on to the situational analysis. So for the demographics, our customers are usually going to be pretty wide age range. Normally, I'm gonna put it in a range of like 25, like 55, could be even up to like 65, mostly male because of their focus on craft beer. It's mostly a male dominated market, and really, yeah, it's mostly male. And then if you move on to the geographics, they're located right on 3rd Street in Marquette, which means most of their customers are going to be coming from the city of Marquette, and basically Marquette County as well, which includes Marquette, Negaunee, Ishpeming, Gwinn, and Republic. And if we're talking about their psychographics as well, so yeah, so extroverts are going to have a great time at Black Rocks because of their social environment. There's people walking all around and drinking their beers, and you can have all your friends there and whatnot. Bring all your friends there at any point and have a beer and just chill, listen to the music, and really it's a social environment, and some interests that might be relevant to Black Rocks customers as well would be like biking, hiking, obviously drinking and socializing, and basically just nature-oriented activities. That's mainly who they're marketing to. And people who work the morning shift as well may have a less likely of a chance to actually come to Black Rocks due to, people don't really consume alcohol usually before, depends on who you are really, but like 4 p.m. at least. They're usually open from like noon to 11 p.m. on most days. So people who are working, that morning shift will have a lot better of a chance to actually show up. And people people that are working at night shifts probably won't be showing up most of the days because they are usually working, that 12 p.m. to like 10 or like even later than that. You don't really want to drink before you go to work, for most people. And then if we go on to their competitors, I'd say Ordog Brewing Co. is going to be the biggest one, mainly because of the similar nature of both of the breweries. They both have a focus on craft beers, and Ordog also offers a few other options as well, like seltzers, but Black Rocks does not offer seltzers. And then there's also other alcohol places right around on like 3rd Street that sell alcohol, like Third Base Bar, Stucco's, and Diggs, and 906 Sports Bar. So talking about their macro environment a little bit, they also have obviously, I said they had a back patio, and you can't have a back patio open when it's negative 10 degrees, so they close it during the winter, and which kind of limits their seating, but not completely, because they have a good amount of seating now in the interior, but definitely better to have that outside back patio open in the summertime. And then the current financial situation, really, they employ 6 to 10 people in total, which really they're a pretty small business. Their annual revenue will be around like 1 to 5 million, which means that they're really focused on local marketing and whatnot. And they distribute some of their canned beers as well to other places around Michigan and Wisconsin.
Okay, so diving into the SWOT analysis, we're gonna start with strengths, which are gonna be internal. Some of the strengths are gonna be the location. Being located on 3rd Street, it's gonna bring in a lot of more on-foot traffic, which is gonna bring in more customers. Another strength is gonna be the atmosphere. Black Rock has a fun and welcoming atmosphere that makes consumers wanna come back and bring their friends. They also have a really strong relationship with their customers because they bring in bands and do events with them to make them want to come back and tell others. They also have their mug club, which is going to be a huge strength. It is a very exclusive club as it is already full, and each member of that club is going to get their own personal handmade mug by a local artist that they can use to get beer whenever they come into the store, or in the brewery, sorry. The club is currently full, as I said, but every now and then you may get lucky if they have a special event to join the club. Recently, they just did an event in July of this year where they did like a golden ticket hunt thing where if you went around, you could find a golden ticket and you could be lucky to get one of their mugs. Moving on, we're going to talk about the weaknesses, which are also internal. A weakness is that they only serve beer, unlike their competitors. They also have limited seating in the colder months, even though they just recently did an expansion on it over the 2021 to 2022 year weekend. There's still very limited seating inside during the winter months. However, in summer they do have quite a lot of seating and it's not so much of a problem then. Another weakness is going to be the lack of advertisement. They do have a lot of advertisement on their like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, which is their own advertisement, but they do not have a lot of paid advertisement. Like I've personally never seen an ad for Black Rocks like in a magazine or even just like a billboard or anything like that. So then moving on, we're going to go to opportunities, which are going to be external. A big opportunity is going to be Marquette tourism, especially in the warmer months when lots of people are coming up to like check out the Marquette area, and they might walk into Black Rock, see it, be like, wow, it's such a great place, and then tell others, and that's going to promote a lot of word of mouth for advertising. And then another opportunity is going to be to expand beyond beer, because like their competitors, they also offer seltzers and things, which Black Rocks does not, so that is closing the market off to other customers that they could bring in. Another opportunity is to expand and make new locations. Another opportunity is also going to be to create an app that customers can use to get points, rewards, which could go towards merchandise or beer, whatever that may be. Another great opportunity is food trucks, because the food trucks also post on their social medias where they're going to be, and someone might say, oh, okay, today I went to Burger Bus and they posted there at Black Rocks, I'm going to go to Black Rocks, oh, maybe while I'm there I'm also going to get a beer, which they might have not originally intended to do. Alright, moving on to threats. So the biggest threats are going to be the competition, such as Ordog, Dryfa, and Barrel and Bean, especially because they offer, like I said, different products other than beer. Another big threat is going to be underage drinking, especially since we are in a college town. They need to make sure that they are on top of knowing what a fake ID looks like versus a real one. And then another really big threat is going to be the aluminum and CO2 shortage. Both of these shortages are going to make the cost of beer go up, and it's going to be harder for Black Rocks to sell cans out of the Marquette area because the cans are going to cost more money for them, so they're going to have to increase prices. And also, since CO2 is short, CO2 is a main ingredient in beer and is used to carbonate the beer. And so since this is becoming less and it's going to increase the prices, whether that's at the brewery itself or just in selling the beer downstate in Wisconsin or wherever that may be. As of right now, it hasn't stopped or slowed down production in Michigan. However, that doesn't mean that that won't happen in the near future because experts are saying that there is no end to the shortage in sight. So moving on. Oh, sorry. This is just basically, I'm just gonna roughly go over it again, everything. Our strengths are gonna be location, atmosphere, relationship with customers, and the Mud Club. Our weaknesses are only serving beer, limited seating, lack of advertisement. Our opportunities are gonna be tourism, expanding beyond beer, new locations, app, and food trucks. And the threats are gonna be the competition, underage drinking, and aluminum and CO2 shortage.
So digital marketing objectives. Black Rocks operates digitally under two main forms. So that would be their website and then their social media. They have 3 forms of social media though, they only use 2. That would be Instagram, Facebook, and then they do have a Twitter, but the Twitter has been inactive for a very long time. So the main place that Black Rocks communicates and interacts with their customers would be Facebook and Instagram. It's kind of unheard of that Black Rocks has 23,000 followers on Instagram and just about the same amount at 25,000 followers on Facebook. Most companies in Marquette have a significant more following on Facebook rather than Instagram. And they achieve this by posting very consistently and posting good content that is informative and interesting to their customers. So some things that Black Rocks do effectively is they also have their e-commerce websites both on their Instagram and their Facebook. This allows their customers to rep their Black Rocks merch and wear it around town, and it allows their brand recognition and awareness to be more prevalent than other local companies. So moving on, some suggestions that they could do is platform optimization. This means that they could analyze who's following which platform on Instagram and on Facebook, and I believe they would find that there's a difference in demographics along with geographics, and they can cater the content that they put out to the specific demographic that follows either the Facebook or their Instagram. Another thing that they could also do is up their posting time and post reels. So right now they post 2 to 4 times a week on average. If they were to post 5 times a week and make per Instagram's algorithm 2 times a week, they'd post reels that cater to their content. They would hopefully effectively grow more on Instagram and other social media. Another thing that they can do is develop a Black Rocks app. This would allow them to order beer, it would allow them to communicate events to their customers, and also include their beer club point tracking system. A Black Rocks app would allow customers a more personalized way to interact with Black Rocks and give Black Rocks the opportunity to communicate with their customers more effectively. Another thing that the Black Rocks app would allow their customers to do is track their beer order along with like their age or gender or anything like that. So it would allow them to get more information on who's purchasing their beer and why.
Moving on to the target audience, we focused on local craft beer enthusiasts and tourists. The primary target audience being local craft beer lovers, mainly because they're the most likely customer for a nano brewery to have. If if someone is looking to try craft beer, then they probably already enjoy beer and want to try something new and different. They care where it comes from, and they like to shop and support local businesses. BlackRock's had no idea the amount of interest. Sorry. BlackRock's had no idea the amount of interest that customers for. Sorry. They had no idea the amount of interest that locals had in purchasing craft beer. So they do now has enabled them to expand as much as they have today. Enthusiasts enjoy the taste of beer, so they can appreciate BlackRock's process for creating craft beer, as well as the distinctions in taste of each beer. This pairs well with BlackRock's key ideas: always make the best beer possible and always have fun while doing it. The secondary target audiences are tourists, because they are a constant volume of traffic in the Marquette area for season and events. BlackRock's is named after a local landmark, so it is a likely place to stop for environmentally minded tourists looking for new experiences and events in new places. BlackRock's does this by hosting events in association with hiking, mountain climbing, among many other things. They just did one for Oktoberfest, but yeah, they also have trivia and open mic night earlier in the week when bands aren't playing. So people can stop by, hatch the day's events over with great friends and quality craft beer. And whether visiting for seasons or local events, that's BlackRock's vibe, and that's why people generally tend to go there. So it makes sense that we should focus on attracting these audiences in. Tourists vary in age, however, BlackRock's is family friendly, and you know, they're just. Anyway, moving on to our customer segmentation. We segmented local craft beer enthusiasts into 3 categories. For demographics, these ages are looking like 25 to 60-ish. We already covered this a little bit earlier, but we also employed the most likely male based off their branding and image, and just the fact that a higher percentage of males drink craft beer. For geography, they're located on 3rd Street. And customers consist of just local residents or nearby outlying county residents. And then for psychographics, just people that appreciate the taste of craft beer, they're environmentally conscious, and they just like to get outdoors. And then for our second group, we segmented into 2 categories: demographics and psychographics. Demographics, same as locals, it's a younger to middle-aged audience, but they're likely to go outdoors as well alongside psychographics. They're up in the north, they like that, they want to try new places to show that, and they're probably gonna wanna buy something to bring home with them to remember.
Questions, comments?